study them, then you write your name there and say what you want. And according to that, he will come tomorrow and give you the books. So it may be available for you. Second thing for the sake of organization, on 6th, no, 5th evening, right? PJ?
Yes.
5th evening, no?
Yes, Thursday.
See, 5th with lunch we are closing our sessions. Some of you are staying here, 5th, 6th and all that. Brother George, PJ George, who gave the paper yesterday, Director of Lake Mount, he would like to take all those who are here and available for a dinner there to his school. So he would like to know how many of you will be available to go to Lake Montfort School with Brother George on 5th evening for dinner. How many? Put your hands up so that you know. Evening 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, approximately. So you make 15 or 20, okay?
Departure at 5:30.
I do make up, so
Yeah.
take it.
Departure from here at 5:30.
5:30 departure. 5:30. We will go from here. After the session, have a nice sleep, get ready. 5:30, we go to take one. Okay? That's okay. Then, today, we are having two little input sessions. One is very precious to our congregation, that is on inclusive education. The other is skill training, that is technical based skills training. Since we are getting an outsider for skills training presentation, Father who is charge of All India program, and introduced later on, he can come only in the afternoon and the morning. So you see a little change in the schedule. Morning second session we are having the workshop, and afternoon we are having the right here good session. As it is given in the timetable, so that is the schedule. The rest continues as usual. Okay? Clear. That's how the day is set. Only the other one is we have a process of narrowing down our vision, mission statements. We will try to see how we can do that. Slowly narrow down to a consensus opinion at the end of it. We hope we will do that. Thank you. George.
Good morning to you all, and welcome to this first session of the day, a very important day as it was mentioned. We have a theme that is very dear to Montfortians, a theme and vision inherited from Montfort and very much patronized and effectively implemented by Father Gabriel Day. And in order to lead us into greater reflection and subsequent action later back home, we have with us Brother V.K. George, popularly known as VKG. He had his studies, initial studies in Chennai, and he was my companion right from junior age to senior. And he has an MSc degree in audiology from the University College Dublin. Ireland, and a doctorate, PhD, in special education from the University of Philippines, Manila. The early part of his mission, he worked in the province of South India at the St. Louis Institute for Deaf and Blind Adaya, Chennai, for 18 years. Along with late Brother Patrick, he was instrumental in starting our prestigious and famous St. Louis College for the Deaf, Adaya. The first college and only the type of it in the whole of India. Then later, he moved to the northeast sector at the death of Brother Thomas Moore, and was in Montfort Center, Tura, for 14 years, and later in the Provincial House, community for 4 years as Provincial Bursar. In Tura, he set up the Teachers Training Center for teachers of the deaf and teachers for the blind. The first one in Northeast India. Presently, he is in the Provincial House, Guwahati, as Provincial Secretary and convener of the Inclusive Education Commission of the province. A very soft-spoken person and a person with a passion for the differently able, the marginalized, and those rejected by the society. A true Montfortian or a Deshai. A man who has walked his talk by his commitment and his action. I understand he was also instrumental for starting an outreach program very near to Tura, Portugal. Yesterday, Brother Devasi had showed us some shots, pictures about that center. That shows he doesn't just stop with just giving us some theories, but he's a man of action. A very innovative person. I've seen that. If you closely associate with him, you will find he is looking at things differently. Not only is looking at differently able, but he is able also different. And we therefore have the pleasure of welcoming him and presenting the paper. And please give him a big hand.
Thank you. Thank you, George. You have spoken too much about me. Thank you. Yeah, brother M.K. Devasi and myself, we come from Northeast India. So before we start our talk, I thought we will give you a glimpse of Northeast India, what it is. All of us know where Northeast India is in the map. But the people, the geography may be alien to us. This is a song that was written by Thomas Pinambarabil, the Archbishop of Shillong. When Archbishop Thomas Pinambarabil was a seminarian, he wrote a poem, a about Northeast India. Later on, the installation they set it in the museum. We'll watch that.
North India, is it North India?
Yeah. if a blind child is admitted to a school, make sure that there is somebody to read for him. Make sure that they have the braille slate or the abacus or the tailor frame, the mathematical appliances which is needed for them. And these things are available free. It's a question of writing a letter to the National Institute for the Visually Handicapped in Dehradun. The addresses are all there. Or if there's a hearing aid, it is supplied freely by the National Institutes or other centers. The old term was the handicapped. There's a story behind how the term came into existence. Hand and cap. In Western countries, especially in Europe, the poor people, they use the cap to ask for help and their support. So the hand and the cap, because in our India we show hand. So that's how the term handicap is. It was a common practice that the disabled people were asking for help from the others. The scenario has not changed even now. Still in our airports or railway stations or bus stands, you see a lot of handicapped people asking for help and support. Then came the term special children. Then we use it differently, abled children. And now the new term is children with special needs. Children with special needs. The handicapped, the special children, the differently abled children, children with special needs. All these terms are widely used. They all denote the disabled children. There was also the terms like mainstreaming, which is used especially in the United States, or normalization, as if the handicapped children were abnormal. It was not a good term, but the term was used. Normalization, bringing them into the normal schools. De-institutionalization, removing them from the special institutions and bringing them to the regular institutions. And now it is inclusion, inclusive education. One last question. Will there be more handicapped in future or less handicapped? What is our thought? Will there be more handicapped children, handicapped persons in future or less? If there is a science is there, medical, pardon?
Yes, yes, yes.
Some say less, more. The projection is that there will be more disabled people. The reason many of the disabled who would have died otherwise will be living because of the better medical care and facilities, but they will remain disabled. Secondly, the life expectancy of people is increasing. But as we grow old, we become more and more disabled. So the care for the disabled, whether it's for children or for the elderly, is going to be more and more increasing. And we as a society need to be more and more prepared for this. One of my expectations from this conference, especially from the Global Secretariat, is that we set up a center for disability studies. We set up a center for disability studies, including all the type of handicap, offering short-term programs, long-term programs, and other things. Our services like audiological services for eye testing, and it is possible, and this is a dream our especially our Northeast province. And I am very lucky that right now we have a provincial brother Devasi, who is very much oriented towards the handicap. not that the other provincials were known, but brother has got a special care. Anything regarding the handicap, when it is proposed, he gives a very supportive hearing, and he wants it to be carried through. And that's the reason, in one of the recent council meetings, he set up a special commission on inclusive education. And whatever the other commissions, whether do or not, he always go on and asking, what is inclusive education doing? So there is a support and prompting from the administration. And by the way, my PhD was on special education. And one of the topics which I investigated was, suppose 100 persons or teachers are trained for the handicapped. How many of them continue to remain in the field? And I found that within 4 years, 60 of them they leave out. They opt for other areas. And another 10 years, 20 more of them go away. So finally only 20 to 15 of them remain in the field which they have chosen and which they have trained. And I investigated why the reason is. And I zeroed upon the main point, administrative support. If the brothers are going to be interested in the education of the handicapped, it depends on the administrative support we brothers give, especially the provincials and the councillors. So I see a band of brothers more and more involved, more and more committed in the field of education, especially the special education. Thank you.
That's one reason. For main reason which he discovered in his research. Similarly, in
earlier days you have already 7 categories of disabled children. Now they are including the whole spectrum, and they come out with a number of 19 types of children, including the learning disabled, the CP, the autistic, whatever.
It's heartening to hear from you that the brothers have been one of the forerunners, very prominent in the field of educating the deaf, particularly, and also other differently abled children. And as time passed, this has dwindled apparently at today's situation. I have heard at the congregational level or at the national level many seminars organized for various topics, but sensitizing brothers towards this special education, I have not really come across any efforts taken at the national level for a conference of 3 days, 4 days, where we can motivate or sensitize brothers towards this need. And also, when we are talking about making inclusive natures of our institution, all our teachers have to be sensitized, all our teachers to be motivated to some extent, that they have an openness and concern for these sections of society, and would that be also be done in the future? Is it
Thank you, George, for that wonderful presentation. Very informative. 2 things that I wanted to. One is, it is so salutary that the Brothers of St. Gabriel have been pioneers as far as education for the children with special needs are concerned. And there is a great deal of literature that also continues to be contributed by, I think, our brothers in France. But in India, we have been at it for the last 40 years, or 50 years, or more. But in terms of contribution to the academic contribution to this field, as far as Brothers of St. Gabriel are concerned, has been very limited. One is mark how much of literature is produced, how much of academic work is done, how much of research is done. This is where we are able to make a mark, which I think we have to a great extent doing. The second is that the only request that we made to a global assembly like this is please start a specialized, what do you call that? Inclusive, no, but you used, no. You ask for a center, a place. In other words, something that would be of, what was it?
Center for Disability Studies.
Yes, Center for Disability Studies. In other words,
WNA Center for Disability Studies.
Okay, and he even has named it Gabriel Days Center for Disability Studies. In other words, you are asking for a center of higher learning and research. Last 3-4 years ago, there was a center that was available to us. Perhaps it is still available to us. A center with 27 different departments that specifically addresses the needs of the disabled, beginning from kindergarten till PhD, recognized by all organizations possible in the country, with and with the capacity for converting it into a university. And I think who is who of our provinces and the congregation went there, looked at it, studied it. They were asking for, by present standards, a nominal price of about 20 crores. Today, I'm told some provinces are ready to buy schools, the schools, secondary schools, for 15 crores, 16 crores, 17 crores. I was wondering, and the problems in having, in taking the decisions in having, who will manage it? In other words, the administrative problems, who will be responsible for it? Will it be the national council? Will it be the province? Will it be that? Will it be this? If this place is of significance, this or any other place is that of, because that place is a 30-year-old place, and then it is difficult to build up a place of that sort, even if you work for the next 50 years. That is a different thing. But if it is of significance to the congregation, should we keep away everything else so that we would have this one place? Because for me, a place like that would be like that precious stone in the field that was found. That can make a global difference. We are talking about global leaders, global thought leaders, we are talking about many other things that we are. If we have symbolic places like this that can contribute significantly, I think that would be great. I'm hoping that a conference like this is able to take decisions that of that sort. Big decisions that will make a mark.
Thank you, Brother Wani. We have quite a few speakers. First, Domenico, followed by John Baptist, and Brother Wani.
Yeah, I've observed in the last 20 years or so, a certain number of integrated schools have started here in India. I'm not sure in Calcutta, but somewhere there. Guwahati, and also in, I'm not sure at Mysore or somewhere, you have schools for the handicapped. I think there have been efforts to make these integrated schools. I'm not too sure the extent of the success and the difficulties that these schools have gone through. I went on short visits and they're relatively new and relatively small schools. Would you have any data on observations of how this experiment has been for the experience here in India?
But in the group
Dr. George, your presentation was excellent in terms of information as well as due to your passion for the education of the mainly the hearing impaired. You have been speaking a lot from your own personal experiences. Now, you have touched upon the inclusion of the special children, especially those physically handicapped, hearing impaired, and visually impaired. What about the whole spectrum of learning disabilities? Do we exclude them, or don't they also come? You will have a lot of questions and clarifications provided from Brother George, and the floor is open. You may raise your doubts and clarifications. Particularly, some of you may even like to ask him how to start a center, how to start a school, all these questions. Brother George, please.
You said it has become mandatory to admit the blind, the hearing impaired, and also the physically handicapped in the normal stream in India. My question is it mandatory to admit the mentally retarded children as well into the normal stream?
Yes. There is something in the very time. If they are the borderline case,
Dans une école spéciale, ils ont tout le temps, ils ont la possibilité d'avancer au rythme, à leur rythme. Je ne sais pas comment faire pour assurer la qualité et les alliments. En certains endroits, comme au Rwanda,
Mike.
Allons-nous faire de la même manière pour les personnes handicapées, admettre une certaine, une baisse une non-gestive basse par rapport aux gens normaux. Mais là aussi, c'est la qualité, la compétence qui est compromise. Comment pensez-vous? Merci.
Thank you, Sarah, for your sharing as well as raising a question. I'm sure you will be able to interact with persons in the field and further jobs correctly. Because it needs some time how to make that successful issue in terms of quality education. Thank you very much, brothers, for your participation. I think the best so far, and congratulations to all of you. I hope that this will be extended back home in terms of action. So let us give a big hand to Brother George for you. Thank you.
One second. After the break, we are going directly to the workshop for question number 4. Okay? The process continues as usual. At 11 o'clock, we go to the workshop. While doing this, since you have been getting all the replies of other groups, also slowly have a look at the previous answers you gave. All the answers of other groups, have a look at that, how they are all answering the same question. So that slowly we come to more of an understanding, maybe we will be able to put together. Okay? Just have a look at the answers of other groups, then proceed with your group number and question number 4 today. And today the videographer will be coming around to your workshop. So be ready, dress properly and sit well and put on your best smile at the working culture. Okay, thank you.
Inclusive education in St. Gabriel. We collaborate with the Blind, Deaf and Blind Association of Thailand, where they have the duties to support and do the work, right? And then they go out to find educational institution to support them. And for St. Gabriel, since we are rights rise to attend to our school. So the students come to our school. We have a room for them for taking rest, for coming together and so on, or for the government people to come to talk to them and so on. But they go to class with the other students. How they learn is the duty of the government agency to see to it, providing the equipment and all that. We support them free education to primary every year, and all of them graduated successfully because they chose the particular right boys to learn. Thank you, brothers. I think any other questions? Just a short question. Yes, brother. Technically, this government had to sell for the teachers. But going with the government is a difficult task. A lot of paperwork, you need to meet so many people, follow the file. It's very difficult. But the government's permission is there that the special teachers are paid by the government. So in practice, you come to institutional schools, the obligation. Just to add to that, for example, in Peramala, the government gives some funds, but that may be working out around 60%. The remaining is meant to guide the province. Sometimes the government funds won't come, then the province will have to pay the government. I'm sure you will have some experiences in your province. Vinay was sharing with me that the same here in Bangalore as an education center, and he was the opinion is not at all expensive.
This is the institution that I see. So we would rather go by their expectations and their results.
The value system, if it is not given prominent place in the curriculum part of it, we keep on pumping the market value wanting in this area. That is why you look at the results of the schools. We pat ourselves so much that we have a wonderful results now. But
the organization should be and where you should focus for future success. As part of your plan. At this point, in a self-assessment process, results everywhere and little prospect of improving. It may be time to merge or liquidate and put your energies somewhere else. Or what you abandon holds everyone in its grip. Abandoning anything is thus difficult, but only for a brief time. 6 months after an old project is cancelled, people will wonder, why did it take us so long?
We put our child there. Or they wait for maybe engineering level. Or if they are getting a seat in immediately they catch that person and take photos and put flags or put in all the leading newspapers.
Le résultat obtenu, c'est quand on évalue les activités après les avoir réalisé. Ça peut être une évaluation ex post, une évaluation après avoir réalisé des activités. Mais quand on est dans une projection résultat, parce qu'ici, il demande seulement résultats généralement sont liés aux objectifs qu'on a définis en avance. Et il y a deux types de résultats.
Comment je dirais, quand on regarde les résultats, c'est pour nous amener à corriger ou à modifier des choses, ou à nous réjouir quand ça va bien. Puis quand ça va bien, on est encouragé d'agir encore plus dans ce sens-là. Corriger des choses, ou réfléchir de façon, on dit, écoute, telle chose ne fonctionne pas, donc que ce soit à n'importe quel niveau de l'école, la communauté, parce que c'est pas juste l'école. Bon. À ce moment...
Mais c'est ça aussi. Comme je te dis, est-ce qu'on l'a déjà mis? Mais il y a la suite aussi. Moi, j'ai dans ma communauté un frère. Donc, c'est possible.
Il y a une même qui est même.
Les produits des frères.
Oui.
Mais même il peut arriver. Taking the discussion out of the cast because of results achieved. I was in the executive committee for last 1 year. So I need to compare it with what I've seen here and also I can feel. From my observation, quantitative results from the institution where I'm now working is average understanding. Qualitatively also I simply read it as above average. Above average. But if I go back to Fiji where I worked for 40 years, both qualitative and quantitative I would give a rating of excellent. They stand head and shoulders above the rest of the country.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They visited each school and studied their reports. With the 2 years, of course, it is continued. Probably, I think the Delhi is continuing.
We also get changed as a headmaster 23 years or